Okay, so today we're going to take a deep dive into something pretty amazing, revolutionary medical breakthroughs.
Yeah, exciting stuff.
We've got a ton of recent articles and research, and well, our goal here is to really pull out the most fascinating and important insights for you,
For sure, for sure.
so you can understand what the future of healthcare might actually look like.
Absolutely. I mean, imagine a world where diseases that we consider like really scary right now are just much less of a threat.
Right.
And the treatments are really tailored to you as an individual.
Yeah, like personalized medicine.
Exactly.
So let's just dive in.
Let's do it.
I think the best place to start is probably with the Human Genome Project, that massive undertaking that wrapped up back in 2003.
Yeah, definitely a game changer.
It really did change everything, didn't it?
It did. It really gave us this new fundamental understanding of like what makes us tick, right?
Yeah.
Before that, we were mostly focused on treating symptoms, you know.
Mm.
But the Human Genome Project allowed us to really delve into the root of things, our genes.
So like before, we were just kind of slapping Band-Aids on things.
Kind of, yeah, we didn't have the full picture.
But now we've got the instruction manual.
Exactly. We got the whole instruction manual.
So, okay, that leads us to something I find incredibly fascinating. CRISPR-Cas9 gene editing.
Yeah,
This technology is just mind-blowing.
it is.
Jennifer Doudna and Emmanuel Charpentier winning the Nobel Prize in 2020 really brought it into the spotlight.
Right, rightfully so.
But what makes it so revolutionary to you?
I think it's the precision. Unlike previous gene therapies, which were a bit more like, a shotgun approach, CRISPR is like a surgical tool.
Okay.
It can target very specific DNA sequences with incredible accuracy. It's almost like correcting a typo in that instruction manual we were talking about.
Oh, yeah, so we can go in and fix the errors in our own code.
Precisely. And that opens up huge possibilities for treating inherited diseases, things that we never thought we could actually fix.
And speaking of rapid progress,
Yeah.
we can't ignore the impact of mRNA technology.
Absolutely a game changer.
Dr. Catalin Carriaco's pioneering work on that front.
Yeah, her dedication was incredible.
And it really led to something that I think most people didn't expect, the rapid development of the COVID-19 vaccines.
Right. I mean, who would have thought we could develop vaccines that quickly?
Right. That was just incredible. And it shows, the power of investing in fundamental scientific research, even when you're not sure what the immediate payoff will be.
Exactly. Sometimes the biggest breakthroughs come from the most unexpected places.
Okay, now get this, from cutting-edge gene editing to something that sounds ancient, maggot therapy.
Yeah, sounds a bit strange, right?
Seriously.
But it's actually making a comeback, and it's proving to be really effective.
So how does that even work?
Well, basically, these little guys, these maggots, are experts at cleaning up wounds, particularly those that aren't responding to antibiotics.
So they're like tiny little surgeons.
Exactly. They remove the dead tissue and promote healing in a way that nothing else can.
Wow. So sometimes the old ways are the best ways.
Sometimes, yeah, innovation isn't always about fancy technology.
Yeah. So for our listeners out there who are, maybe feeling a little overwhelmed by all this and want to stay informed, what are some good ways to keep up with all these advancements?
Well, I think the most important thing is to be proactive,
Yeah.
seek out information.
Yeah. So what are some specific things people can do?
Well, you can follow medical journals and websites. There are tons of great resources out there.
Okay.
Attend webinars and conferences, even if they're online. Engage in online discussions and communities. There's a lot of really interesting conversations happening out there.
That's a great starting point.
Definitely.
And for those who really want to dive in even deeper, our sources mention some really cool things like volunteering for clinical trials.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And exploring open source research platforms.
That's a great way to get involved.
Yeah. Those sound like amazing ways to get firsthand experience and see the cutting edge of medical research in action.
For sure. You get to be a part of the process.
Yeah. So really the big takeaway here is that medical research isn't just about finding cures. It's about so much more than that.
It's about improving our quality of life, expanding our potential as humans. It's about pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
It's about living better and longer.
Exactly.
And when you combine that with the rapid advancements in genetics and technology, it feels like the possibilities are truly limitless.
It's a very exciting time to be alive.
It really is. So to wrap up our deep dive today, I think the main point is that we're seeing a fundamental shift in how we approach health and disease.
Right. We're moving away from just reacting to illness and towards preventing it
Yeah.
and treating it in a much more targeted and personalized way.
And that's all thanks to scientific progress and the amazing work of researchers around the world.
For sure, we owe them a lot.
And with that, here's something for everyone listening to ponder as we move into this exciting new era of medicine. What are the ethical and societal implications of these rapid advancements?
That's a big question.
It is. It really is. How will they shape our lives and our future?
It's something we all need to think about.
It is food for thought. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Thanks for having me. It's a great conversation.
It was. And we'll see you next time. See you then. Bye.